even we have given Bharat Ratna to one of the pioneers of, without naming him, just 3 days back, 5 days
Got
back.
it.
Without naming him, he was one of the fathers of Green Revolution. But he sold DNA of almost 11 lakh varieties of rice to these Western companies, So they could patent a lot of these DNAs,
Hi, welcome to KC Talks. Farmer protest is an ongoing issue. Government is trying to solve their problems. But let us understand from Dr. Sahadeva Swami, how do we resolve this and spiritual insights in this problem. Hare Krishna Swamiji. So this is almost second or third time, I don't know, in last few years, on an ongoing problem. So what do you think is the
Well, today I was just now I was seeing updates. So 2,500 tractors are at the Delhi's doorsteps, removing the barricades, and they are tear gas, shells are being released, and it's quite a messy situation. So, getting to the root of this problem, this is more than just a political issue. This is actually a fundamental issue.
Okay.
And the fundamental issue, I would say, we have to look at from two angles. Okay. The first one is destruction of natural life support systems. I'll come to that detailing. And the second is weaponizing the farmers' issues.
Okay.
So first I'll tell you that there are very genuine fundamental problems, and they are the civilizational problems. But then these problems are weaponized by the vested interests.
Okay.
And they are not interested in getting to the root of the problem.
Not interested in solving the problem.
And they just want to, dry their hay while the sun shines.
Taking undue advantage of the problem.
So there is a class, political class, Andolan Jivis. Their bread and butter comes from agitations, So what happens is they live off the trouble, For example, there was an experiment. A sweet was placed within a jar, and gently a group of red ants were placed there, and black ants were placed there. So they were two sweets, and they were both busy, peacefully existing, until somebody came and shook the jar. Then the ants started killing each other. So this shaking of the jar happens by the vested interest.
Okay.
So these are now coming to the issues of farmers. They are very, very serious and genuine issues. But there is no political solution to it.
Okay.
There are lifestyle solutions. You require lifestyle solutions to it.
So you feel political parties or government cannot solve this real issue?
Can be a party to the solution.
But they themselves can't be playing a major role solving the issue.
They can still play the major role, but it requires the whole society to participate in it.
Okay.
And it requires to change the way we think, we feel, and we live.
Okay. So let us get into the grassroots level of the problem. First of
Yes.
all, why are farmers not satisfied?
Yes, farmers are not satisfied because again, I'll just let me touch the upper crust of the problem.
Hmm.
Price of progress is unrest and dissatisfaction.
Okay.
The more the society progresses,
Hmm.
there'll be more unrest and dissatisfaction.
Hmm.
This is based on last 150 years of experience with the developed nations.
Okay.
The more they advanced, the more society was dissatisfied and was violent. And the more society had psychiatric issues, the more the people had violent tendencies, and the more the basic institutions like family life disintegrated. So these unrest will pay the price because material advancement, one-side advancement, lopsided advancement does not lead to overall satisfaction of the masses. So now coming back to, in this context, the farmer issue, the first thing is, first fundamental problem is destruction of life support systems, which
Okay.
are four. Land. So the first problem is dying soils or dead soils. Agriculture, the first component you need is soil. So the soils are, in the name, after green revolution with chemical input, the topsoil is dead. It degenerated. Desertification. So point is, now farming has become, so first thing about soil. Life support system, the first component you need is soil, obviously.
Yes.
You cannot grow in your apartment.
Yeah.
The second component is water. So the water is actually, the water table is going down and the water table is contaminated.
Yes.
And the water is saline. Salinity, the water composition, the water pH has changed also.
Okay.
Then you come to air or climate. You need right temperature. You need the right rains at the right time in the right quantity. So climate is going haywire.
1 second, Swamiji. So, Green Revolution introduced by the government.
Yes.
What is the farmer's role in this? He's been made a scapegoat.
Yeah, you see, naturally, India was food deficient.
Was India really food deficient, or it was a greed of
No,
so-called?
you see, India has been completely self-sufficient. Before the British, for 100 years, continuously they destroyed our agricultural system. Because a well-fed, healthy population you cannot subjugate. But you can subjugate some beggars.
Yes.
So in order to make the Indians beggars, they destroyed our livelihoods, The cottage industries, the agriculture industries, the hand woman, the whole, like weavers, for example. There's a famous, we were taught in schools, they cut off these dhaka, these the thumbs of the weavers.
Yes.
To destroy like the industry here, they were importing milk cloth. So the cottage industry cannot compete with that.
Yes.
So India has been, but after the British left, our agriculture was not we were short of grains. Now problem is, green revolution gave chemical input. So everything is fine. But then with chemicals, the law of diminishing returns set in.
Yes.
You can only grow or continue to grow for some time.
Yes.
After that period, your honeymoon period with the land and chemicals is over. Then what happens is, your input, you have chemical input, you have to increase, and progressively your output decreases.
Yes.
So more and more chemical, less and less output.
Yeah.
So then the soil goes for a sixer,
Hmm.
and your water tables, your entire area, ecology of the area,
Hmm.
you destroy, pretty much, Then also this has impact. Land is the largest sequester of carbons.
Hmm.
So when you have chemical, then carbon release, it adds to climate change.
Hmm.
So first thing was we are destroyed our soils.
Hmm.
Second, we have our water availability issue, and third is climate. And then basically, land, air, water, sunlight.
Hmm.
So sun, that is part of climate again. But our ozone, basically, we are our destruction of ozone layers. The sun has more, let's say, different rays which are harmful. So overall, industrialization actually, is it kills the agri enterprise. That's everybody wants to get into factories and jobs.
Hmm.
Then there are labor issues. Then comes mechanization.
Hmm.
Then you bring in tractors and harvesters. But these machines, they compact soil and destroy topsoil.
Swamiji, so you said India was in surplus of grains. Then Green Revolution contributed to the India's agrarian economics to some extent. But then why was there not a body, a statutory body, compliances of how much input of chemical should be used? Because there is a huge pesticided chemical abuse that is being done to Indian soils. That's what we see in Punjab today. The more the input of the agriculture, the fertilizer, but lesser the output of the grain, and what you get is also not good. So why? Because ultimately we're discussing about the grassroots issues, and farmer is the only sufferer here at every given point of time because governments have changed.
You see, this you are talking of these big lobbies for this agro lobbies, chemical fertilizer lobby, then agro input lobbies, these huge lobbies, So for example, Monsanto. How many farmers after Monsanto's cotton BT started committing suicide because they have to take loans.
Yeah.
And you cannot save your seeds. Now, poor farmer, illiterate farmer, he borrows at high interest of rates. He has to sell the land. So many have actually, every day, so many farmers, they die in India. So what you are saying is, today, even we have given Bharat Ratna to one of the pioneers of, without naming him, just 3 days back, 5 days
Got
back.
it.
Without naming him, he was one of the fathers of Green Revolution. But he sold DNA of almost 11 lakh varieties of rice to these Western companies, So they could patent a lot of these DNAs, So there, you see, there are commercial interests, and there is basically, when a country of size of India, you are looking at billions and trillions to be made. And who cares what happens after 20 years or 40 years or 60 years? Basically, we live from day to day. If now money comes, good, let me take and walk away. And even farmers are happy. Okay, this year I got the crop. I made enough money, I could build a house. So basically, we are a very short-term thinking civilization. Fundamentally, we don't plan our life.
I don't think, rather than short-term thinking civilization, it is just a 5 year of winning civilization. The political parties come to win. They are not addressing any civilizational issues.
Exactly.
But what pains is because the farmer is a backbone of a nation. He's committing suicide.
Hmm.
And then he's definitely, from an intelligent point of view, he has a very less IQ levels, right? He has very less intelligent caliber. So he's been made a scapegoat here, and now he wants to protest, to show his anguish, to
Correct.
show what is happening to him, and we are not letting him do that.
Yeah, so farmers are, then they, again, this is exploitation. Just by, I mean, their political talks or solutions are stopgap solution. It won't solve their problem. See, again, we have to come back. We have to first admit agriculture is a natural process.
Yeah.
And you have to align yourself with nature in order to survive. So, until we let that happen, actually, agriculture is called the noblest profession.
And why is it called so?
Because this is where you are within nature.
Mm.
This is a sacred work.
Mm.
You are with Mother Nature, you are with Mother Land,
Mm.
Mata, Bhumi Mata, and Prakriti Mata. You are with. So it's called the noblest profession and a peaceful profession.
Mm.
And for thousands of years, agriculture is a sustenance enterprise, not a profiteering enterprise. You do agriculture in order to maintain yourself, and if there is surplus, you trade that.
Mm.
You trade that for other necessities.
Mm.
That is why there is a book, by father of organic agriculture, by Professor Howard, Sir Howard. Farmers of 40 centuries, when he went to China,
Mm.
how India, China, these farmers have maintained their lands
Mm.
over the centuries.
Mm.
Because civilizations, those who neglect topsoil, they get destroyed like what happened with Romans.
Mm.
So you got to take out from Mother Earth, but you have to put in.
Mm.
And that's where comes organic, gentle, natural, or let's say cow-based farming.
Mm.
So when you do that, that will be the solution.
Mm.
Farming cannot be, they are saying, double the farmer's income.
How can you double when the output is diminishing?
No, where do you get the input?
Mm.
Is it like a a business enterprise or what? Where would you get your water from?
Mm.
Where would you get how do you control climate?
You can bluff people, you can bluff farmers, you can't bluff land.
Land and cows, cattle cannot be bluffed.
Yeah.
You cannot bluff your climate.
Yes.
You cannot bluff nature.
Yes.
So this is the problem. It's not a political issue. It's a fundamental issue of our lifestyle and civilization, our fundamental issue of thinking. Because raping and robbery, this cannot be a national enterprise. Farmers have become robbers of land's fertility. They are taking away, but they are not putting back in anything.
I don't think the issues that you have addressed today in this podcast, maybe majority of the farmers don't even know the principle in what they are getting out of the land.
Right.
But there's no education. Farmers are the only profession in this world where they don't go to a regular education to understand the top level soil, the organic contents of the soil. Some big person comes and does a big campaign called Save Soil. But 90% of the people, or probably 99.99% of the people, don't even know how do you save soil. And what is wrong with our soil? Nobody knows. As you being, somebody who's a spiritual monk and have some insights in agriculture, you're speaking this big theory.
You see, the problem is with policymakers. They are sitting, let's say earlier we had planning commissions. Now we have renamed a Niti Aayog.
Yeah.
These are babus sitting with tie and suit boots in their AC offices in
Western
Delhi.
dresses.
They don't know, most of them, Policy makers don't know difference between cow and a bull. And they can't differentiate between pulses and a rice husk. They don't know ABCD. And then here comes the big corporations. You see I tell you what's the master plan. The master plan around the world is, I have written a book on that farmers are an extinct species now.
Yeah.
Marginal farming is on decline everywhere.
Yes.
Because there is a method to this madness. The idea is you phase out these marginal farmers and you bring in corporations to do your food production. Now, what happens is the problem with corporation is that they are not here to take care of land. They are here to exploit the land. A marginal farmer can work. Small is beautiful. The book you must be aware by Schumacher or whatever, how you pronounce that gentleman. Small is beautiful. So big corporations, for them it's a 20, 25 year, 30 year, they'll walk away with everything, a barren land. They are here to make money. So the problem is, there is the farming is purposely being made unsustainable. So that, in India, I have a whole article on that. Every day, 2,000 to 5,000 farmers are leaving agriculture and coming to cities to work as coolies and laborers. So that's what they want.
So there is a vindictive agenda according to you. More and more people disown farming and then corporates come there to do corporate farming.
And they
How long do you see this going to happen?
This is an ongoing thing. Every day thousands of farmers are migrating.
Yes, but now you are seeing the migration of farmers into the city land as coolies, laborers or watchmen. But then we are not seeing big corporations coming over, taking it as a corporate.
That is happening. So much, thousands and thousands of acres are being taken over by big corporations. Even
in now, India? When
you go out now, earlier you used to have vegetable vendors selling,
Yeah.
Now all your vegetable shopping is from these big companies. Like Fresh and blah, so many companies we are buying. And they are all growing. They are contracting the land now. They are taking over thousands of acres. So basically, small scale enterprise is disappearing. And this organized, but the problem comes, there is another agenda here. Agriculture makes a person independent. And an independent person has an independent thinking. But once you bring that person into an urban setting, make him a laborer and a slave, then he is dependent on your salary. So you can control him or her. So the whole agenda of corporatization, industrialization is enslavement of masses.
True.
So then they cannot think independently. They cannot protest. They cannot rebel. It's just you throw them crumbs of bread. That's how they survive. So therefore, and you need people for your cheap labor for your industries to make your profits. So how do you do that? You displace them from their lands. A farmer in a nice rural setting with healthy air, and farming is a easy work. It's 3-4 months a year. Then rest of the time, that's how civilizations develop. Art and literature and music and fine arts developed because people had time. All these all these finer sentiments and So here you are morning till night, 365 days. So healthy food, healthy climate, healthy. Then afternoon, the wife brings the lunch, and is working in sun. And then they come to cities, ghettos, slums, and with all the crime and with the drinking, they develop. City is a place of vices again.
Yes.
So that is how the displaced masses, that was the agenda, and that they have been successful in that. And only solution is re-ruralization. Gandhi, everybody, that should be taught in school. Gram Swaraj.
Yeah, he spoke of agrarian economics.
Agrarian economics with a village based, that self-sufficient village units, Gram Swaraj, localization. This is the future. And all this, is not sustainable. What we are doing is just a short-term thinking. These Western corporations, the British colonials left. And then these corporations came in. They are still making their money.
Yeah. Rajiv Dikshit was the first person who probably got this into the heads of the people.
So they
left, here. But they are controlling us through the corporations, multinationals, lobbying people.
So it's a big lobby.
Yeah.
And they can peddle the narrative. They can influence the policy. There is money involved.
So true. So one is we have to get back to the nature and address the real issue of soil health depletion. Now the second thing is, I don't know, your problem is very simple, but I don't know whether farmers are technically strong enough to understand and solve their issues, because that is not on governments to handle it. They can't. It's far away. The problem is far away from a government that it can address it. Second is vested interest provoking the farmers. So whom do you think is doing this?
Well, it is like when ants are in middle of a log and fire is on both the sides. So basically, this poor farming community, one side they have misleading leaders or misleading policymakers, and another side there are this whole bunch of politicians who use them, to create these protests and so both the sides, actually nobody is their well-wishers other than those advising them to go back to nature. I have seen myself in villages neighbors, two neighbors. One is following these natural systems of farming, cow-based, zero input. He is keeping his land very healthy.
Yes.
Just like in Hyderabad, I have examples right here. He has got a whole microclimate on his land.
Yeah.
Now his children are very healthy. His family is healthy. He doesn't drink. He has got a very peaceful family. Then I know right here his neighbor who has actually committed suicide. He was a drunkard. He taken loans. This part of land he had to sell. His son has become a drunkard. So you can see that the whole civilization's techno-industrial is actually a short-term approach. It's not sustainable. We have to get back to small is beautiful, natural, and I tell you, there are now hundreds of thousands of such, lakhs of such farmers they are earning more now. Their input, their success stories, but why does not it comes to mainstream? I mean, how much brain you need for our policymakers and rulers to understand that cattle dung is a better input than these dangerous chemicals. It's actually, it can't get in their heads. This simple fact, agriculture, you have to align with nature. It's a natural thing. It's not a political thing that these politicians can do magic.
What I
It's
feel,
just that they can't understand these basic facts.
what I think, Swamiji, is, and this is my observation, sitting with Western dresses in a tropical climate, in the ACs, and using this word called bullshit, which is left again by Britishers,
Right.
we cannot value what a bullshit is.
Yes.
The bullshit is a real
That's
real
brown
gold.
gold.
It's a brown gold.
And I tell you, the solution is brown revolution.
Definitely, yes.
The solution of all our agrarian crisis is brown revolution. First we had green revolution.
Yeah.
We-
White revolution then.
Then we had white revolution of milk.
Yeah.
Then we had pink revolution
Yes, we're hearing.
of
Fish.
no, pink revolution was modernizing slaughterhouses and meat export
Yes,
and meat consumption.
Yes, yes.
Big effort, pink revolution.
Yeah.
Then we had blue revolution, marine export.
Marine export, yeah.
Billions of dollars have been pumped into fisheries and
Yeah.
fishing industry today. Now we need is a brown revolution.
So true.
If brown revolution, that's the only solution for this civilization, is bullshit, what you call it, brown revolution.
Yes.
And that will save this civilization, that will save this nation, that will save this planet.
Yes.
It's brown gold. Biomass is the real wealth of a nation.
Yes, so true.
One New Zealander, he is going around, old man of 82 years,
Yeah.
with a bucket of cow dung
Hmm.
and with few seeds. He's trying to, or he was, I don't know where is he now, whatever that natural bio farming is propagating in India
Yeah.
with one bucket of cow dung and few seeds.
Yes.
So this now from Punjab, I think the most affected state in this with this green chemical invasion is actually Punjab,
Yes.
which was a bread basket for India.
Yeah.
And from Punjab we have trains going out called cancer trains.
Yeah. So true.
This noblest profession has become a dangerous, toxic and violent profession.
Hmm.
And today these trains, they have been named as cancer trains to, let's say, Bikaner and other places.
Yeah.
Where all cancer patients, because farmers are dealing with these agri inputs
Dangerous chemicals.
day and night, day in, day out.
Yes.
I have seen in a grape, I went to grape orchard, and I was, oh no, don't touch, I have just sprayed it yesterday. They touch with their gloves on.
Hmm.
Then I was in a village 3 years back, and very nice corn, corn on the cob was, I said, don't touch it. No. Then I saw 2 snakes dead and so many other. They are spraying, and wildlife completely dies. Then I said, what do you eat? He said, no, that patch is ours. We are not spraying there.
They become intelligent now.
At least some of them.
Yeah.
So something you not allowed to touch, but others are eating the same thing. Walk into any cancer institute, any hospital. So for policy makers, development you are talking, progress of country, you have everything, you have highway, you have expressways, you have laptops, you have gone to the moon, everything, but there is no food, pure food. There is no milk for the children, but we have progressed.
No good water.
It's like I've got a turban, I've got goggles, I am all dressed up, there is nothing underneath. I am stark naked from waist down. So this is development is not going to help. First development is healthy, happy life.
So true.
And healthy life requires pure food, pure air, pure water.
So true. So true, Swami.
So people will not be happy. The more you progress, there will be more unrest. Society will be more disturbed. People's health will go down,
Yeah. We're seeing it going down.
Yeah, so that's is America. That's what is America.
Yeah.
Wherein in a year, every day on an average, there are 3 shootouts. And nobody reports also. It's not worth reporting on an average.
Yeah. When we browse media, social media, the people asking question, is it safe to travel in India? But nobody asks this question, is it safe traveling in the US? India is much safer than the US today.
Yes, I would think so also,
Yeah. Definitely. Thank you so much for your beautiful spiritual understanding on cow, on soil health, and the real root cause of the problem, Swamiji. Maybe people will get some idea. And I also feel there should be a lot of education that has to be given to children, because our life sustains on good food, water, and air.
A growing food has to be a subject in the schools.
Yes.
Because growing your own food is like printing your own money.
Yes, so true. So true.
So, this is the real occupation, agriculture and cow protection. Rest, whatever we are doing is actually extraneous and is not going to sustain.
Yes.
Real industry is getting back to land and with cows. There is a cow stomach is a industry factory, and land, organic land is a factory, wherein every square inch, so many millions of processes are happening by the living beings there.
Wonderful.
So you need these 2 factories, land and cows. All your economic, your social, all your every issue will be solved.
Beautiful. So let us understand this crux and let the youth of India and the children of India at least understand what they were deprived of in the last 20, 30 years. I want good air. Where do I get? On this air quality index. And good water, I think, is in the plastic bottles. With so much of microplastics entering my body. And we don't even know of what soil is, what you have taught us. And we don't even know about that. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this. So let's hope that Lord helps us solve these problems.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.